Witness me, Smegma Crazies, and welcome back to Mad Max. Before we get too much farther along the line, I figured since we're in the area, I might as well go ahead and do a death race. Well, excuse me, death run. I've been calling it the wrong thing this whole time, and I know it's already set off somebody thinking, oh my gosh, a death race, that sounds amazing. Is Frankenstein a special character? But no, as it turns out I've been calling it the wrong thing. It's not actually a Death Race 2000. It's a death run. It's still interesting enough, and I mean, there can be death. You'll see. It's fun.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Lo! Here comes a wanderer. I, Crow Dazzle, welcome you to the Circle of Light. To the Circle of the Brave, the Skilled and the Quick. You've come very far, and with a great hunger. But, are you one who seeks to win a name for himself? Or who wishes to bind to the heart of his machine? Or are you both?
What are you saying?
Racing, son, is a many splendid thing. There are some who come to Crow Dazzle for the glory, to beat the baddest the wasteland can muster, and have their names ring out in fireside tales of bravery for ages to come. Others are on the path of the spirit. They seek the death run to bind their beings to their machines. What's your wish here?
So, death runs are where we have the option to get some additional vehicles for our garage, but also get more Griffa tokens. For now, our options are kind of limited because I haven't unlocked the Magnum Opuses or anything that would allow us to do mini races other than just this speed stuff.
Tank! That one hit could cause a cleansing inferno!
Bombs in place. The one crazy thing kills us all.
Essentially what's happened is a bomb has been placed on the bottom of our car, and it will explode in 2 minutes. Our goal is to finish this race, whatever the parameters may be, before that happens. In this case, every checkpoint has barrels in it, and we have to bash through one of the barrels to get that done. I guess I should go ahead and talk about the other racers. As you may be able to tell, they're kind of dicks. They will definitely ram into you, and, yeah. As for the Speedster, it doesn't really have very good handling. This thing is extremely squirrely, and I'm not a big fan of it. But there are 2 goals for the death races. One is to complete whatever objective it is, and the second is to finish it first. And then sometimes you can just miss a barrel like an idiot, and then have to go back and completely screw up your need for the race. It's one of those weird things where the AI doesn't seem to need to hit a barrel to hit everything, but you do. Of course, another problem is that sometimes the barrels also act as physics objects, so if you're in the middle of racing and a barrel gets caught up on your undercarriage, you can kind of flop around like an idiot for a while. So, I tried playing this one fair, and it didn't go very well. So, let's try something slightly different.
One blast of the fuel, and he's cut!
Unsealed flash. Hold on.
You are allowed to use your shotgun during these matches. And if an enemy has an open up fuel tank, well, that's just his problem and your game. may see at the top, there's sort of a little bar in the middle there for what looks like a Griffith token. These races actually have 2 timers, one of which is, your completion timer, which is the full circle. The other one is the legendary timer, where if you finish the race within that time, you'll get an additional token to upgrade your character. I won't be doing too many of these death runs, but I figured it was worth showing off at least one. Whenever we complete a death run with a certain car, that car gets added to our garage, so now anytime I feel like driving the Speedster, I have that option. I will never feel like driving the Speedster.
I'm here for you.
But since I'm in the area, might as well go ahead and visit Griffa and spend some of these tokens.
Please, the lights will rustle them.
I'm leaving for a while. Something I gotta do.
Once you had everything. Purpose, love, family and friends. They ripped it all from you. You drifted far from what you were. But you still lie inside, dormant, waiting to rise again.
No. This is what I am.
Maybe not. Perhaps you fear him you carry inside. That he'll hurt you with his weakness.
Enough.
Very well. Let's have a peek what you've hidden within. Come out.
While I'm doing these upgrades, more than likely one of the last ones I'm going to be grabbing is the, I believe it's Judgment, which will increase Max's legend level. Just because there are enough challenges in this game that there's no need to rush it. I'll definitely hit the Road Warrior rank eventually. But every time you do go into the Griffa token spending screen, you do have to spend all of them, so eventually I'm sure I'll have to spend some points in that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and back Siege Eat.
Here it is, Saint. My plans for the Jack. Oh, she'll be perfect. Speed, power, tenacious durability. Take a look-see, take a look-see.
This is the game introducing us to the concept of Archangels, which are sort of pre-made vehicles for the game. Different kind of concepts that will give you certain, maybe you're focusing on grinding, or maybe you're focusing on an extremely armored vehicle that has a really big front grille, things like that. This is the only one that we actually need to make for the for storyline purposes. However, there are a few things that we need to pick up first, such as a new car body, along with some armor, neither of which we currently have access to. But we can at least get a slightly better engine and some better tires. And with a bit more scrap, we can eventually get the new exhaust. But we still got some business to take care of. Sometimes the Archangels do require a slightly a lesser engine than the one you currently have equipped, and that's part of the reason that I don't like it. A lot of the things are maybe based on visuals, more or less, so having certain schemes and everything else just... nah.
I got a proposition.
I personally prefer making my own vehicle to my own specifications, but it's an option for you.
I wish I had no use for the likes of you, but as you can see, we are fading quick here.
What are you getting at?
Help us establish some necessities, and you'll benefit greatly. I'll see to it personally.
I'll take a look. But no promises.
Fine, driver. Look around. The essential utilities we are lacking are plain to see.
This is us having the option to help out Jeet around the area. If we help to upgrade his stronghold,
I've been wondering.
every time we return to the stronghold, we also will benefit. Different things like a scrap crew will give us, will be one of the first ones that I want to get. The scrap crew will allow you to gain passive scrap when the game is turned off. And you know, since I don't play this game all the time, I might as well get some extra income. Going next to the project and using it will show you where those project pieces are located.
I've been thinking. You recall our companion, Saint? The Dinky D? Do you think he made it out of the inferno that was once my tabernacle?
Nah. Burnt to a crisp. Or food for somebody.
No, I think he made it out, yeah? He's got a survival instinct, that little one, huh? Yeah, I think he would have sought shelter inside my old buggy.
The buggy and the dog would have their uses.
And so there's yet another side mission to go and find our good friend Dinky Die. Dinky D. Dinky Die. Anyway, that's going to be the first thing we take on, just because having the dog around will help us out.
That's sawed off. Bet you need to keep her filled with a steady diet of primo ammunition, huh?
Always need ammo. Keep talking.
There's something brewing out there. War boys from Gastown are tightening the noose fierce-like. I hear their leader Scrotus got his gumball sawed up by some wild deuce. This land is about to be scorched by Gastown wrath. Our weapons won't do. I need powder. Black, deadly, and smoky.
And that's where I come in, huh?
Now, listen! One of my people was taken by thrall rustlers sometime past. He sprang himself back here, told me a prisoner there knows the recipe for black powder. You go get me this prisoner, alive and talkative, and he tells me the specs for cooking up the powder, and you're set for ammo for life.
Sometimes this will be how we unlock our wasteland projects in the area. For each stronghold.
Mark their hideout.
In this case, if we find this person taken by the thrall rustlers who knows how to cook gunpowder, every time we come back to Jeet's stronghold, we will have our ammo belt refilled for us. Shivs, sniper rifle bullets, and shotgun shells. And this is just telling me stuff that I've already told you. So, you know. Yep, got it. Thanks. Anyway, we've got a few side missions to do, along with finding some scrap parts along the way. Let's go ahead and take care of it. mentioned before that you can use the harpoon to grab people. I just want to do this.
That long shot will regret throwing and let it us!
The camera will always focus on whatever you have, whatever you're towing behind you or whatever you're currently attached to.
My chapel, my sanctum, my sacristy, all blown to smithereens by infidels, non-recognizable bits of profane nothingness.
There might still be something here.
I probably won't do very many moments of dragging something along behind me with the harpoon, but I figured it was worth it to see it at least once.
My buggy? Haha, doom popper. She lives yet?
Sturdier than it looks. There you are. Sounds good dog.
Dinky D's alive! I knew he would prevail. He's a survivor, that one.
Here. I'm taking it back to Jeet's fortress. Meet me there.
Indeed, indeed, sight. I'll steer her safe.
So, of course, the downside of driving a non-magnum opus vehicle now is that, well, you've got no way to repair it if anything goes wrong, for one, but you've also got limited weaponry, in that you're limited exactly to your shotgun and nothing else. But all the different vehicles can have their uses.
What you got?
And of course, one of the most time-wasting things in this game is minefields. Minefields that can only be detected by the dog, and mines that can only be sniffed up by the dog. You'll see the dog look in different directions while you're inside a minefield, which kind of directs you towards the nearest mine, but each area usually has about 2 minefields per section of the area, so minefields are really a waste of time. But here we are, wasting time. It should probably go without saying that stepping on landmines is detrimental to your health. Can't recommend that. That said, if you can get enemies to drive over or step on landmines, it does, you know, remove the need for you to defuse one. To defuse it, rather. Minefields are good for 2 things: restocking your ammo and reducing threat. Unfortunately, the effort needed to find them to reduce threat it's really bad filler. I'm probably still gonna do all of them, but I'm not gonna like it. At least there is one benefit to Chum's buggy. It has a really good undercarriage, so pretty much no matter what height you're falling from, it'll take minimal damage.
No. You leave him alone. Dinky D's a friend. He's not for eating. We need to find a safe place for you to stay, Dinky D, and keep these savages at bay.
I'll put something together.
Puppy snorts and
Stay.
whines. The hound has caught something on the way.
So that's neat, but we've got more stuff to do, of course. The next thing I'm going to head towards will probably be the gunpowder man, because having your ammo belt refilled whenever you visit back to the stronghold, generally a good idea. And we can always grab some project parts along the way. The project parts are usually in a mixture of these different wasteland scavenging locations, and sometimes they're inside camps. Sometimes I don't realize they're inside camps until I've started storming the camp, so, you know, these things just happen. I was going to take down the camp anyway, so it's probably fine.
What? Don't go!
This land is ours, said Shuffle! Stop it!
Anytime you see a project part, it'll be in a box like that one on the left. They're not exactly hard to find in their given areas. You know, you're meant to find them to buff up your different wasteland strongholds. But unless you're actually tracking them, you may only find them by mistake. They do all have different amounts of parts needed to put it together, and some of them are locked behind story missions. For instance, I don't think we ever have to find the parts to be able to make a gunpowder bench. We just have to do this story mission and then do a few other story missions along the way. There are a few other stronghold projects that I'll be interested in getting. One of them is the cleanup crew, which whenever we destroy a vehicle, the cleanup crew will go out there and collect the scrap for us. Which, if you intend to get a lot of scrap by destroying vehicles, or you plan on taking on the convoys, having that in place ahead of time is probably in your best interest. There's also a oil well that will go ahead and fill up your car whenever you return to the stronghold. A maggot farm, which will fill up your health. A water tank? I don't remember what it's called, but it'll fill up your water, obviously. What else is there? A survey crew will show you every scavenging location in that territory. So, if I made Jeet's scavenging crew, I would be able to see every single scavenging location within Jeet's territory. I'm sure there's one, maybe two others that I'm forgetting about, but I'm sure we'll see them before too long. Speaking of maggots, if you find yourself in a bad spot and need some health but no dog food around, there's always other dietary methods.
Cheat. Best make good on our deal.
I'd mentioned there was a slightly faster way of seeing what things aren't marked in your map once you've gone up a vantage point. And this is it. Every time you exit the binoculars, though, it will go ahead and re-put it on the map for you. Though, by exiting out of the binoculars, you can actually see the different dots that you need to look around for in the area. In case you're missing one or two, it makes it a little bit easier to see what you're looking for rather than scoping back and forth with binoculars, I guess. It's, you know, trade-offs. Personally, I prefer scanning around with binoculars myself, but, you know, I've also got the time to waste. Sometimes if you take a fall from a high enough place, Max will kind of limp around for a bit. It usually doesn't do damage, but I guess it can inconvenience you.
This hideout. What can you tell me about it?
I don't know. Too many nooks and tunnels and dugouts to say for sure.
Better find the right one.
Hitting this scarecrow can be a little tricky. It's just in a very inconvenient place for you to get a proper anchor on it. You have to actually drive up on the mesa to hit it, which I'll be doing shortly. All in all, I apologize if that's in a very exciting episode, but sometimes you have to lay the groundwork for excitement next time. Which, hey, I'll be taking on those throw wrestlers next time. So, until then, stay thirsty.